Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Plat Reinhardt who was pulled up into about a 3300 lobby. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that definitely does help me out, lets me do more of this, etc. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join the Discord in the description below, and through there you can see what my rates look like, you can become a part of the community. Really, you get to do a lot of cool stuff. I recommend it. Always looking to do more stuff there. Okay, so let's see how this Reinhardt gets to do in his experience playing about 500 SR up here. That is something that happens to tank players because the game is light on them. Storm Arrow. I can live with that. Probably a touch early. He has a Zarya though, so he can go for a bubble trade here. This shouldn't be the real push yet though. Yeah, so that's maybe. You ready for big Firestrikes? Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. So that's probably a bit long on this push here. Like if we just take a quick look at what actually happened, how long the Zarya bubble actually lasts. Please load. Game. And charges. We could see the charge off the map. That's actually an okay trade here. You can get away with that until Diamond. The charge from choke, you know, to try and get him off the map. I jest. Okay, so if we look at this, it's nice that we've seen that spent. We potentially could have pushed. Team was a little closer than I thought. So we do a bubble and see how quick that bubble goes down, which is fine. If we're continuing to push, we can continue to do this. We can continue to take these swings sort of regardless. But usually you just sort of do this as a, hey, let's get proper bubble color. Let's do our sort of bubble trade. My bubble's gone. I got my swings from it. Now let me go immediately back here and do this, unless this is a real push. I don't mind you trading through the armor, etc., but that's usually how you'd go about this. So let's see how long this sort of continues. It's not going to be an extreme amount of continue, but I actually want to show this from third person. But you see, there's a fair amount there where you go down, you don't put yourself in any danger, and I appreciate that. But usually you would just kind of go, hey, this is rotation to get us a poke lead, which means I specifically am looking to get my Zarya energy from the bubble swings, and then I'm leaving. I'm not staying in for more. Okay, now I hope you recharge shield. I don't really want you going yet. This is just giving more chance to delay when you get to push. And now you've lost your Ashe, so it almost doesn't matter. But this is sort of delaying when you get to push, because you can take some damage that has to get healed up. You can take some barrier that has to get healed up. And really, you're just waiting for your Zarya's next bubble before you're allowed to push, which is only 2 seconds out. But you should be going, hey, I kind of want to wait these 2 seconds. In these 2 seconds, I want to get these things back. If I go take more damage, even if my supports can heal me in time, they might not heal the rest of my team that is poking in time, etc., etc. So I'd kind of like to wait these 2 seconds, unless you're specifically trying to bait attention to you so that the Ashe can be rezzed. Where did the Ashe go down? Can I tell from Mercy's POV? No, I can't. Okay, that's just going to have to be life. But not a big deal. The Ashe went down, so you don't get to do that anyways, but you'd still generally go for the bubble cycle here. There's a boosted Ashe looking at you. Bubble's not available yet. And now you got the bubble late. So that is on you. That is on you not mentally tracking well enough when your last bubble happened, when you got it, etc. You really do want to be going, hey, I'm mentally tracking. I know when this bubble has expired, and you take a quick look here, and you want to know when it's 8 seconds from when your last bubble was used, ended, etc., because you do want to be going in at the time they'd want to use it. That's how you help avoid getting bad bubbles. This I tried to give you a bubble the instant it was available because you were in, etc., but you were actually leaving. And again, you can help control that better. That's not strictly a Zarya mistake. Yes, if I was coaching the Zarya, that would be a Zarya mistake, but that is something that you can make better, and there wasn't really value for you pushing those 2 seconds early anyways. And that you just forced your own lamp. Eesh, eesh. It hurts. Hey, Karkar. We've just been talking about when you should be going up to get energy for your Zarya versus when you should be going to, fully push through, etc. So you haven't missed much. We see this. We're talking about this one, how your Zarya bubble is still going to be 2 seconds out when you go in for what could have been the push. Your Ashe is gone, so it can't actually be the push. But this is early. And then you back out, and because you went in 2 seconds early and you're in danger, your Zarya's thinking, I've got to bubble you. This isn't a good bubble from your Zarya, but you didn't set her up to succeed. You went in before she had it back, and you do need to mentally be tracking her projected bubble cooldown. Karkar's been here before. And that, you just don't do this Firestrike. Yes, it's a corner peak Firestrike, and I appreciate that, but you had less than half health. You knew you had less than half health. You knew that a bubble wasn't available. There was no reason to Firestrike here. And you hitting that Firestrike does get your longest cooldown on your team spent. This lamp was for you. Is your Ashe back? Ashe should be back by now. You haven't... No, Ashe is not back. It's just felt like an eternity. That's fine. So again... did that just happen? It did. It did. Don't particularly like this. You've now spent this this bubble on a Firestrike. Again, it's sort of predictable. You've got to be thinking about your Zarya's own projected bubble timer, so that you know, hey, if I peek now, I'm likely to get a bubble versus not going to. You want to go in. You want to go for the swings. You want to go for the Firestrikes, etc. When you can, how shall I say, you want to go for those when your Zarya is going to want to bubble you. You want to lead her to giving you better bubbles. Like it's a thing that you can do, should do, etc. I strongly recommend it. I can live with this Firestrike. A swing honestly would have been better, but we can live. Now you're going in without the bubble. You know the bubble's not there. You keep getting the bubble. You guys are a little off sync, and it's happened twice in a row now. You get the bubble, and you go out to go for your swing, and it's too much. Or maybe it's the same event. No, the last event had the lamp. There's no bubble. You don't need to be here. You don't need to be giving away shield. Your Ashe is on the way back, and you're not going to be able to push when your Ashe gets back because you're down to 600 shield. You want to sync up having full health, full shield, and a projected bubble available with having 6 people here. So you don't want to spend a bunch of barrier or spend health, because even if there's time to heal you back up, they might not get your team and you back up when you have the 6, and you do want to be able to push when you have 6. You can minimize the staggering that happens on your team by making sure the good windows exist for you to push as 6 here. And those good windows are you have barrier, you have health, projected bubble is available, and you have 6 people. So let's hope that you didn't just take that away from your team. Projected's not available, and you're at 400 barrier. I don't like that Firestrike at all. You know I don't like that Firestrike at all. You were fully on their side. You hit the Firestrike. You hit the Firestrike at close range. It wasn't going to be a finish, and you can't cancel it with a shield. You didn't have a ton of shield to play with, but you can't cancel it with a shield. So now we're in this situation where your bubble is getting spent. Again, this feels bad. These bubbles are off sync, but these bubbles are off sync because you got them off sync, or maybe Zarya got the first one off sync. But these last 3 bubbles have been off sync. They've been late, and that's you not mentally tracking when her bubble is available, because she's bubbling you because you're so low. If you just done this stuff a second later, a second and a half later, 2 seconds later, you'd have always had a great bubble, instead of now where you're always getting sort of lame bubbles that are encouraging you to go back in that actually puts you in even more danger. So this kind of sucks because now your barrier's low, you have a bubble that means you're going to have to wait another 8 seconds, and your Ashe is back, right? Yeah, your Ashe is here. So you can't push for 8 seconds, realistically, and everyone is here. You have just taken, with your Zarya's help, you have just taken another 8 seconds off the clock with what you did there. And in 8 seconds, someone else might get staggered because it's Overwatch and people do that. So that's really unfortunate. And then your 8 seconds will have turned into whatever amount of time that adds, whether that's 15 seconds, whether that's a stagger on top of that, which turns into 25 seconds, which turns into, et cetera, and suddenly you're down a minute. Okay, now you're gonna push. Oof, you can't do it. You're gonna have to, but you can't. You have 400 barrier and you can't take advantage of this window. Yikes! You can do it anyways. Okay. Mm-hmm. Sure.
The objective is mine! Join me if you will!
Okay. So it's good, but again, your team made that push happen by getting a pick, and that's as we continue to climb. I'm not saying that that's normally what you do as Reinhardt, but you want to be going, hey, I want us to have as many push opportunities as possible, and you took away some push opportunities with how you were playing. You want as many real push opportunities, and that doesn't mean getting a pick. A pick does generally mean push, but you can push without a pick. You can be the good initiation, the good we're going to make an attack, we're going to break through the choke, etc. And you were sort of denying those by going in a little before the Zarya bubble was ready, etc.
Objective A captured. New defense point. Objective B.
Okay. No. Please don't go here. Please don't. I don't care that your Zarya is dumb. No. Okay. To the beginning. Not amazing, but okay. Wrong. We don't want to be going forward here. I know our Zarya's gone there. There was an acceptable reason to go this path back before they changed 2CP. You would go this path if you'd just gotten late in eliminations onto the opponent team. You had good staggers. They had to deal with normal length respawns, and you'd go this way just because it was faster, and you'd get on point while they were down 2-3 people, etc. That is long gone. People get 2-second respawns now for second point if, first point was just capped, etc. So that's long gone. There's basically no reason for your first push to be through here. There's basically no reason for real pushes to be through here. You can do like a push where you go here and then you rotate down here, come out over here, etc., and go here. Or you can do pushes through here, etc. This is not a real push. This might as well just have like skull and crossbones above it. Like I can't draw skull and crossbones, but like we could have a skull and crossbones and yeah, that's we could have that. That might as well be marked above this because this is a elimination trap. You don't want to go here. Your Zarya went there. That's annoying. I get wanting to support their play. I'm going to live with you supporting their play, but I hope that you're saying high ground, high ground, high ground. You just got your Zarya's bubble. You can't do squat with the bubble. You don't even have the option to Firestrike during this bubble. This push is over. Take your Zarya out and leave. Exactly. Semitic's got it. And yes, Karkar, try to keep mental track of the... What? Oh boy. I get that, Blah, and if you're getting too crushed because they're set up too hard for their defense up over here, what you do is you can go this way, but you immediately drop and circle back through there like I did. That's the only legit way to do this push. This push, you cannot do this push directly through to mid. You have to rotate off of it. And this is not actually a particularly good push, even this drop rotate one, but it's better than pushing into Maywalls, Junkrat spam, etc. when they are hard set to hold this point. So you're actually doing this because their positioning is so thoroughly set up to hold this spot that we're going to go this way even though it's worse because it makes it a little bit better because they're so hard committed to this. And even if you're not successful with this rotation, what ends up happening is they will then adjust their positioning slightly to be a little more defended against this rotation, which makes it so this hold isn't quite so good anymore. It's still very good, but not quite so good. And then you can go through there again. You have got to have a chance, etc. This is just not right. Anyways, back to the actual what's happening here, because there we are. The bubble came out. You see you got the bubble. That you got the bubble means you basically can't push. You can't push. Your Zarya is going, no, I really want to push. Your Zarya is already high energy, by the way. So your Zarya is leading you around, and we don't particularly like that. You can't do this. You do not know that this Reinhardt does not have Shatter. You do not have the ult-tracking wisdom to know that this Reinhardt is at exactly 96% Earth Shatter. You just Earth Shattered right in front of this Reinhardt's face, and the Zarya bubble will not protect you. She's up in the air, she's to the left, etc. And this is close enough range that you can be punished for this Earth Shatter, for this Firestrike with an Earth Shatter, and it would get your BAP too. So that wouldn't be very good. Um, that's one of the reasons we don't just Firestrike in the open. We peek corners to Firestrike. You wouldn't peek this corner because he could pin you. He could Earth Shatter you on this, etc. But we do the, hey, I'll peek a corner to throw a Firestrike. I start to pre-throw my Firestrike, peek as it actually finishes its swing motion that sends it flying, aim during that, etc., and then unpeek. That way, if like a shatter comes or something, I have plenty of time to react to it to go back behind the corner, etc., because I can move during my fire strike. If he's pinning, again, same thing. I have plenty of time to react, etc. That's what we're looking to do with fire strikes. It also helps us clear discords. We can throw a fire strike. If we get discorded, no big deal. We immediately get to clear it. Here, these fire strikes, we can get shattered, we can get pinned, we can get bursted down and we can't take cover, we can get discorded, we can get purpled, we can get slept. Like, there's all sorts of bad things that can happen to us. Okay, you can't get reactively slept, but fine. You're still a couple seconds out from bubble. They have both bubbles, just hard shield. I say hard shield and you get shattered. Sad. So a Rhine that has Shatter and a Grab is going to think about throwing out a Shatter while he's bubbled. Because that's one of the, that's a reasonable answer to a Grab if it doesn't get canceled, and it won't get canceled while you're bubbled. But also, they were both bubbled, so you were just increasing the Zarya's damage. Yes, you were bursting through the bubbles faster, helping your team eliminate it. And yes, I would have potentially been good with it if you were at a different angle from your team. But you were on the same angle as your Zarya, and you and the Zarya were the two major sources of damage into that bubble. If you swing around here and they're both bubbled, sure, swing into it. Your Zarya's here, you're here, your team's here. But if you're on the same angle as main sources of damage, there's too much risk of you getting shattered, like happened there. Yeah, that's fine, Karkar. I get it. You do want to play with your team, but you also want to take the leadership role. Like, if your team is committed to doing something that isn't great, yes, it is frequently better to do the not great thing with them. But you do want to try to take leadership, take authority over the rotations as Reinhardt. You don't need that fire strike. That's a storm arrowing Hanzo. Bad trade. Oh, it's a storm arrowing Hanzo who took down your soldier. That's unfortunate. Again, I would prefer you swing at the monkey rather than try to fire strike down this hallway here. Ah, these bubbles. Okay. Yeah, Semitics basically got the right of it. Okay. You're up 2. This is the sort of snowball that we're talking about where, yes, you go in through mid. But this is really you returning to a fight in progress more than it is you pushing mid. Okay. This Zarya is determined to not give you good bubbles, so again, that just needs to make you even more conscious. That one, there's nothing you could have done anything about, but this should be a warning in your head of this Zarya is not going to give me good bubbles if I give them any degree of control over it, so you want to only peek when you're ready to push, when you can swing, etc. You want to peek at times that she has bubble, not when she doesn't, etc. Nice. Okay. Turn and shield. Yep. No. You had 156 HP and you threw a fire strike. No. He's not contesting the point. Make him come to you. your Zarya will happily break that bubble, continue to lob right clicks at that soldier, etc. You have 1400 barrier, and you had like 150 HP. Let's spend some barrier. That's the right answer right now. Definitely spend some barrier. Definitely don't fire strike basically in the open here to try to hit the soldier, who is definitely going to trade back. Even if you hit him with the fire strike, he's definitely going to trade back more damage onto you than you'll do to him. I think we've all had lemmings. I think we've all had lemmings that are smarter than our Overwatch teammates. Lemmings at least have some degree of predictability to them. Well, so do teammates, but...
The objective is mine.
This isn't real. It's not. It's not. I know you think it is. Okay, now it's real. Go. These Firestrikes. So, like, either it was real or wasn't. And if you're going to go in, you go in more decisively, you take this, etc. If it's not, you don't go in, etc. Your Zarya went here, you're in. It's time for you to go push, etc., etc. You continued to wait here, you continued to throw a fire strike. This isn't a thing. This isn't a thing. If our Zarya's here and we're going, fine. I guess we're going. If we're not going, we can be back here and sort of do the no, let's regroup, and now let's start to rotate back up here. And once your Tracer went down, it really was over, but you had a window where the Winston was down before that, where you could have made it work. You're gone. Hopefully the rest of your team just leaves you out to dry. That would be best.
Back into the fray.
Got a Reaper now? Okay. High ground. We're gonna go high ground. All the juicy eliminations. I know, you couldn't have been there in time, but all the juicy eliminations. Okay. You got the bubble. You got a shield while you're purple. Little slow there. And now you're going to have to try to get here. Get angled like this effectively. You're just in trouble. This is not a good push place, because if you push mid, and we haven't cleared this, we get things like soldiers, Hanzos, Baps just raining damage down on us, and it really kind of sucks. It's a big part of why you have to clear this spot out first. You have to come through here. The other option, again, is you come through here, and then the damage is pretty unidirectional. You know, it's coming, I can't draw in 3D like that, but it's coming from these spots effectively, and you can effectively shield it, or you can rotate over to like here and block it while you're on point and swap with someone on point, etc., and get caps. That's why that works, whereas this doesn't, because you walk out here and it's like, oh, there's damage from here, oh, there's damage from back there, oh, there's damage from back there, oh, there's damage from back there. You can't handle that.
Let's get patched up.
Diva online.
Don't worry, my friend.
Go right, go right. You're Reinhardt, they'll follow you. Go right. No, 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 no. Fine. We'll deal. But you see how you're already purple again? Like, you're already purple again, and I know the Anna's right here, but, like, you have so many directional threats to worry about. This is just gonna be so hard.
What?
Who are you trying to shield from? The threats are to your right. Like, I see the Anna up there, I see the stuff, but like, who are you? Okay. Oh, you canceled that. Nice.
60 seconds.
Okay. I'm glad you got it. The two biggest things we've seen is, hey, you're getting bad bubbles, but you can be active in fixing most of those bad bubbles in terms of just tracking your Zarya CD. We've got also, that rotation is just not good, and if you're on comms, if you can take charge, if you can move to the right more just to draw your team there, that would be fantastic. And then the third thing is an everywhere thing, which is, hey, those fire strikes, man. Like, we don't fire strike in the middle out nowhere. You've done fire strikes at less than half health when you're like way around the corner on first. You've done fire strikes advancing where you can get shattered. You've done lots of fire strikes where you like swing fire strike against a Reinhardt who can pin you. You know, like we gotta fix these fire strikes.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
That's a lot of armor. So I guess you are a pretty big target.
Hey, yes,
Yes, I agree, Semitic. If you just kind of go station yourself over there, they'll wander their way over there. Except maybe your off tank. Your off tank does seem pretty independent minded. But if everyone else does, hopefully they will.
3, 2, 1.
Early.
Incoming.
Not the actual throw, but the peak.
Objective A.
This is a static thing. Like, it is a static target that you are sending this fire strike down. So you can, like I want you to peek walls with fire strikes, you can start your fire strike and slide into the position to actually throw it. Because it's you have to hit the same spot every time. So you can start and then do it and then leave. But hey. It just makes it them see you a little less early if they're looking, which, you know, little less reaction time, etc. It's very micro, but hey. Well, that's unfortunate. Play to the right. Play to the right. No. Don't play here. Play to the right. This is a fire strike. I know you have the barrier. I just don't like it. Please play here. Excuse me. Here. This is where you want to play. We can stand, especially when we're down a teammate. We can stand right here, and we can swing our hammer into the opening like this. Yeah. That's what we want to do. If they come through this half of the opening, so be it. We might take a step forward and stand here and swing into them, and then, yes, we'll be partially exposed to these guys. But we won't be exposed to, say, the Anna over here, or anyone who's positioned over here, etc. So this side is still better, and this is where we want to start. And the reason that we're doing that is because, again, if we're right here, the only people who can see us are people who go further left, really, than this Hanzo has, and people going that far can get shot by our team the whole time. It's great. If we have to step here to keep swinging to the left at this point, because they come through on the very left side of this point, that means the Hanzo can see us, that means the BAP can peek to here and see us, etc. But anyone to the left of this, anyone really to the right of this, rather, can't see us. And you know there's people there. You've been Reinhardt, you know that your team tends to cluster over here, etc., etc. So they're late to it, which means you have a 6v3, 6v2, etc. So please play here, not here. This is wrong. Don't play here. Okay, you can play with this corner now, but actually play with the corner. Good. No, don't do this. You're at 300 health, man. I know the lamp is there, I just don't care. You don't need to get more aggressive. You just hold this as your new corner. You just hold this as your new corner and you make them break this corner so that they have to walk through, give you swing advantage. If you're holding this corner, swing into the opening, and he wants you, he's either got to walk here where you will get the first swing on him before he can turn and get you and his backline can't get you, or he has to rotate like this, which gives your team Back here, more time to shoot at him and his team than his team gets to shoot at you and their team, because the rotation takes time, makes them vulnerable as they're doing it, etc. That's how they neutralize your corner, and it's better than trying to break your corner, out-rotating it, etc. But it does give your team a little bit more time to shoot at them than vice versa. Plus, you're interested in delaying this because you're down people. You don't want to go in hard here. You want to sort of take a new corner, anchor this corner, delay their push, make them either go, hey, we'll push into a disadvantage, or we'll slow things down by rotating. But slowing things down by rotating is great because you have people that potentially need to make it back and they don't. Too far, too far, too far. Swing right, swing right. Okay, you can swing back to here, that's fine. You're almost correct. You're almost correct. It's so close. Why are you just giving away shield? Why are you stepping into the open to swing at him? I promise that... I promise that from here, standing right here, and turned a little more like this, but standing right here, you could swing at that Reinhardt that swung at you just as easily as you could out here. So I'm going to anchor it, in fact. This is where you were standing. Okay. So you saw the Reinhardt came in. I'll rewind another tiny little bit here because it was where it was. Let's see when you get hit. There. The Reinhardt hit you there. He actually wouldn't have hit you where you're standing, so I'm wrong. You couldn't hit that Reinhardt from where my X is right now, but that Reinhardt couldn't have hit you. So he'd have had to take another step, which would let you hit him, while he's exposed to your whole team shooting at him, while his team can't hit you. Right now, his team can potentially hit you. That Zarya might be able to lob a right-click at you, etc. There's no reason for that. And then where you actually do is you chase him, and now you're exposed to potentially his Ana as well. Oh yeah, and you definitely are exposed to his Ana. You get purpled, and then you Firestrike. And again, we don't want these Firestrikes that you do. You have this habit, I can see, where as a Reinhardt is leaving, as people are leaving range, as you're finishing swinging at a Reinhardt, you're throwing out a Firestrike, and that will get punished. Like, if I was playing Reinhardt against you, if anyone above Diamond really was playing Reinhardt against you, and they see that, oh, you like to somewhat regularly, 2/3 of the time when a Reinhardt backs away from you that you've been swinging at, you like to get a Firestruck, you are going to get shattered day after day after day for doing that. Like, as soon as they see you do that twice, welcome to Shatter 10. So that's something you're going to have to fix. Cool.
Fully healed.
Good, that Firestrike was fine. You don't need to give as much shield as you're giving here. I know you're kind of trying to scout for information, but remember, your team doesn't need you to just hold your shield up here. You can play this corner. The team's responsibility is to use cover, and at this level, this is what, a 3300 console game? They should be beginning to understand that it's their job to use cover. No, you don't chase him out. You don't chase him out. You just go, hey, you're swinging at me, I can swing at you. But again, you make him, if you're standing here, he has to take that extra step in to hit that swing on you, and that makes it easy for you to hit him without exposing yourself to his team. Sure.
Let them up. Down.
You shattered the bubble, but it's okay.
Step rider.
You do want to swing to cover his. Yep. Okay, so This is generally something where you'd call if you guys want a dart push, and depending on where your team is, I'd recommend it. Yeah, your team is potentially in a place where you could call to make this a hard push. I don't particularly love it, but you did just break their barriers and their lamp, so you know that they don't have Ryan Barry, you know that their lamp's broken. You just spent your high noon, you have your window going. This is a window where you could go, hey, my team is here. If you just are on comms and you know people are on comms, you could just shout, commit, 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 and you could go wipe this out. In organized play, I promise your team would push and go wipe this out. I'm accepting of you not doing it on ladder, but I promise in organized play you would push and go wipe this out right now. Yeah. Good. Remember, we don't want to be on this left side of the doorway here. Just shield. Just shield. No, not fire strike. Shield. This is you doing it again as something is leaving your range. You're finishing with a fire strike.
Giving out.
100% close the angle. 100% close the angle. I get what you want, but the problem is it does this. That's not really cover, but okay. Go left hard. No. That fire strike was never going to be worth. This was probably a case of do the slow back up to the mini and then come out here and then rotate back and then push back forward with your team like that. And you'd have picked up an ally on the way? Really? You don't have anyone back here? Okay. Well, guess not. Fine.
Much better.
This is still probably a retreat towards. Oh, but did you just lose your McCree? Yeah, this is a retreat towards second. See if you can round up allies to push back in with. See if you can do things like give your mercy someone to hop to, etc. And then consider pushing back in to stop it after 2 ticks. That's your best bet at this point. And yeah, this is a level game where that can happen. You back up, see if you can pick up teammates, then push back up as 5 or 6. No, back towards second. Back towards second. Nope. Ball is on his own, but he's fine on his own. If he wants to get out, he can get out. You have less than half health. Don't do this. And there goes first. Okay, they weren't going to make it anyways. Fine. I promised the right thing was to go back towards second and see if there was going to be time to push up with your team, and let Ball see if he can stall point for an extra 6 seconds to let you guys get there.
New defense point. Objective B.
And ready for more.
Okay, what do we have? Temporal Snapped, I remember when that was. Sigma Shield gives me double shield. Yep. You love the explanations. Thank you, Blah. You can pin that. It's reasonable enough to pin that. You're not going to. Okay. Okay. So. Fine. It's a pretty good bob. It's a little early, but it's a pretty good bob. It's setting up a second angle on you guys. She has her bob here. She's here. She's going to have her Zarya up here. Like, it's a pretty good thing. The issue is, hey, they're down people, so it's not going to work. But, hey, other than that, it's pretty good. If we take a look at this, your swing is going to do exactly what we don't want, which is put Bob tighter against this wall, etc. If anything, we were looking to go, hey, can we put ourselves in a corner where we can block both of them, etc. And then once our ball goes and distracts Ash, maybe we can pin the Bob. Ideally, we'd like to pin the Bob that way. We're not really going to have a great angle to do that, so we might have to settle for pinning the Bob into the wall. But that's kite time that he's not doing things. If this Ash is tied, that's what you look to do. The Ash is not tied right now, so the shielding is fine. The hammer swing doesn't make sense. You don't have enough people on this Bob to believe that you're going to take it down with damage. So this just lets you take damage without doing anything meaningful. Hurting a Bob that you're not going to eliminate doesn't do anything. Okay, your ball just went to distract the Ash. It did. So now you could pin the Bob. And that has value because it stops the Bob from shooting while you're pinning it. It's CC. Okay. You had no idea what to do here. I saw people stuck on high ground already. Yeah, no, I can live with it. I just wanted you to basically shield in the corner until your ball did exactly what I expected, which was go distract the Ash. And as soon as the Ash is distracted, you pin the Bob. That's all you needed to do. Like, your team wasn't getting crushed on high ground. They were actually slightly winning that fight on high ground. Dodge that.
Come out and face me.
Move to the beat.
Good. Yes. Can all of your Firestrikes be like that, please? See how you started your thing as you were opening the angle? You could even start it a touch earlier, but that was extremely close to right. Like, if all of your Firestrikes looked like that, I'd give you a 9 out of 10. And you're already closing it as soon as the Firestrike is out. It's beautiful. You're fine here. We're not worried. You can continue to play here. I know it's boring. You can continue to be here.
Understood.
Okay. You do have to be aware of the total groupings of the enemies, though. If you're getting aware that there's a lot of them there and you don't really have support here, you have your Lucio, so you'll be able to get out fast. But this might be like a single swing tax and then you're out type situation. Don't fall for it. Don't do it. Good. I get it. I get what you want. I really would have preferred you to go here to try and get a one more swing tax or to try and pin him into this wall, because pinning him into this wall breaks line of sight on his team. Pinning him into this wall, his team has line of sight on you, and you're about to get decimated. Like, there's no question. Maybe these guys are looking too hard this way at the Ash, but you are probably going to get decimated here. So ideally, we'd have hit this pin, or we'd have said, I can't hold this anymore, I'm too low, and we'd have used our Lucio's speed to just drop and get out here over here, etc. Yep.
There is still more to my tale.
Blah's picking fun at the Lucio too. I love it. Oh, we're in slow-mo mode for some reason, even though we're at 100% speed. Get it. This is fine. You're not sure if you have time to rotate high ground. I can live with it. Hopefully your ball is telling you if they're going high ground. Good, you can still see them. Okay.
Seconds remaining.
I mean, I don't love it. You're out in the open against a Reinhardt that has shatter. That distance was probably just barely enough for you to reactive shield, even if he tries to shatter your Firestrike, but it was close.
Heroes never die.
Fine. Yeah, you want to be... Okay. You have the Valk going. You do want to be... Did you just get slept during a Firestrike? I'm so happy if you did. I'm pretty sure you just got slept during a Firestrike there. And I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled, honestly. Because it's the punish that should have happened ages ago. But heck, good stuff.
Enemy siege.
But you did want to be pushing a little more aggressively there while you had the Valk going. Like, that is something you want to take advantage of. That Ryan wasn't in a great situation.
30 seconds remaining.
Force the bubble. As soon as you force the bubble, you win. Good. Now just survive.
Ain't no stopping me.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Lucia's trying to set you up. Okay. The Firestrike, man! The Firestrike! Ugh!
There is still more to my tale.
Echo does too much damage. There was lots of other damage there, but that was a lot of stickies on you. I mean, that was way too long a charge, obviously, but, like, it's just funny.
Wait for me.
You're just gonna drop the shatter, whatever you see. Drop the shatter. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you perhaps could have won that a little more decisively if you had pushed a little harder during your Valk. You also perhaps could have won that a little more decisively if on your first time out of spawn there, you hadn't gone for that long charge and you'd instead looked for the shatter a little more. Like, there was ways we could have used our shatter to win that last fight better. Do I want to go? Yeah, we'll go over it in more micro. Because this match should not have gone into an extra round. Let's just redo this fight. Here you are. You have shatter. You should be asking your team to force monkey, focus monkey, 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 monkey. Monkey goes a long time before that bubble comes out. That's unfortunate, and you take damage. You need to hard shield to sort of get healed back up at this time while your team takes down this bubble. So that is the play for your team to win this. It's going to be rough without your Lucio, but that's the play.
Ain't no stopping me.
Remaining.
That bubble has taken 0 damage. That's very unfortunate. Okay. It's dangerous, but you could shatter this. I mean, the Bob did the work for you and knocked the Reinhardt up. Yeah, you could have shattered, but okay. there's just no reason for this to be a pin. This could have been a counter shatter. Excuse me, for this to be a fire strike. This could have been a counter shatter. This could have been a pin into this, which is totally fine. It could even be a pin over to here, because if you both go into low ground, even though you're going to get eliminated, and he's probably not based on your health situations, actually he might based on your health situations, it's still going to be worth. By the way, you have your McCree also trying to set up your shatter for you. This should have been a shatter. Even if you pin him down here, that's fine, because even if he survives and walks through here and gets back up and gets back, faster than you do, you removing him from the point even for 5-6 seconds is actually worth a lot right now. So that would be like, hey, a thing that we're looking to do, etc. But hey, should have been a shatter. If it's a shatter, he goes down. Yeah. But you still have shatter, so let's play out this next life.
There is still more to my tale.
You going for the ball? Okay, so just put the ball on this. Don't keep going. Push the ball on the lantern. Really, we wanted the ball on the pillar, and you didn't get that, which sucks, but happened. And then you decide you want to try to go further because you think it's going to keep you safer for the unwind. But I actually think your charge was about to let go of him regardless. I don't think you were going to put him into a wall. Yeah, so just a mistake, not a big deal.
Ready.
Okay, so we're defense. Let me catch up on chat here in case I missed anything from Karkar. That was I had no idea what to do there. Started Overwatch and heal bot. Yeah, that's a shame. Only comms were me calling out enemy positioning and the McCree Genji hard flaming their mercy. Sounds about right. That was there, Lucio. 8 seconds, no heals. Yeah, it's gonna. I mean, Lucio Mercy is just a tough healing combination. For the tank, anyways. It really is, provided he doesn't wall run flail off the map. Oh, for Gold Hills, says Lucio. Yes, you missed both walls. Exactly, you missed both walls. And there you go. Do I see anything else here? No, I think we're good. Okay, back to our review.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Come out and face me.
Again, why would we do this? We're fire striking, which means we can't react to go, oh shoot, there's a Reaper in our face. Like, this Reaper's going to do way more damage to him than you do to his team. Should do way more damage to you than you do to his team. Don't push out. Don't push out. He can't hook you if you're right here. He can't. Okay.
Seconds.
This is not over.
I can live with that.
10 seconds remaining.
No hook, play butt. Why is this a fire strike? Why is this a fire strike? Swings were just fine there. Okay. As soon as the... Play the wall, play the wall. Good. Fine. Fine. The Sombra before the Valkyrie Mercy, but that's okay. Reasonable. Why? Why did you Firestrike? I know you want to hurt the Mercy. It's not your job. It is not your job as Reinhardt to be like, I got to put 100 damage into their back line. Like, that is really not your job. It is your job to put pressure on their front line. And if you can get to the back line with their hammer, by all means, take their back line down with their hammer. But you need to get to the back line to do damage to the back line. You're not interested in, oh, I've got to hit these precise fire strikes, etc., unless you have a window. Yes, during poke phase, etc., I don't mind if the fire strikes you throw from corners hit backliners and are primarily aimed at backliners. That is more pressure on them. It's more likely to force meaningful cooldowns, etc. But in combat, we're not looking to be like, I'm going to ignore the Rhine to fire strike the Ana. No, I'm going to take the step and swing at the Rhine. And if I can take 3 steps and swing at the Ana, maybe I'll do that. Shield, 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 shield. Yeah. But shielding against the Reaper is more important than dueling the Reinhardt at that point. Okay. Yeah, I know. He could have blocked the hacks with his shield, but what are you gonna do? That's hard to do when you're fire striking. But yes, you can interrupt hacks reactively with your shield as long as you're aware of where the Sombra is. Okay. Why are you backing out during the res? Why are you letting them have that? Is there something I'm missing? They get your hog, but you get their hog. So you go, hey, I'm gonna deny this. You guys are burning from Ash TNT. Yeah, I want to push. I'm aware of the Reaper. Why are you backing out? Like, you can, again, the Reaper can't hit you behind this, so you want to use this door and continue swinging. Like, hey, no, I'm going to keep swinging the Mercy, and I want to enforce this space so that my Lucio and anyone else behind me can continue hitting this Mercy. I don't need to be backing out right now. I want to deny this res. No res for you. I mean, that's because you fire striked. It's not a fire strike. It's not. You're fire striking while there's a nano hog in front of you. Hog has a cadence to his shots. It's a very predictable cadence. There's a fair amount of time between each shots. You can get very good at going, I'm swinging, and I put my shield up in time to block each hog shot. It's very annoying to him. And you need to. You can't risk not being able to do that while there's a nano hog in front of you. No. No fire strike. Are you team really in this? They're not. Yeah. This should have been a leave to reset when you circled through Mega there, but whatever. And now you're staggered. Can you deny it with a shield, or do you have to the shield itself doesn't deny the res, but he had people shooting from behind him, and my preference would have been that he tried to swing. Like, my preference was that he was here, and he just tried to swing at the Mercy, because the Reaper and the Rhine had both tucked back here. The Reaper was pretty low health, and the Rhine wasn't pushing up yet either. The Rhine might push back into him, etc., and that might push him back a little, etc., just from the movement of the hammer, but he doesn't want to give up the space until he has to, or until the res goes off and the Mercy clearly eventually gets healed back up, etc. Like, he can stand right here. He could have swung into the Mercy. His Lucio was shooting from behind him. His Ashe was shooting from behind him. Whereas him backing up surrendered the space, and he didn't get to put his hammer into the Mercy, and it gave their Rein space to take back, etc., which, the res got off, etc. I'm just saying there was no reason to stop the push. Like, the Reaper had surrendered the space. The Rhine had surrendered the space, and he went, okay, I got the space. I guess I'll leave now. I only wanted to go up here for 2 swings. And it's like, but there's a Mercy resing right in front of you. That's all I'm saying. Okay, back to this. Yeah, no, you can't just put a shield between Mercy and a res target to stop it. That does not work.
Come out and face me.
You won't get a reset. Yeah.
Victory.
Okay, so things we could talk about here. We talked early about Zarya bubbles, and I think those are relevant, but those are probably like a number 3 for you. Just based on how the match went, there wasn't enough that we saw. We only saw 1 round like that. That probably is a number 3 on you, so something I would get back to wanting you to improve on. The thing that you have to improve on most is going to be your fire strikes. You are too predictable with your fire strikes in this, oh, I was swinging at something and now they're backing away, so I'm fire striking. Or I was swinging at something and now I'm backing away and I'm going to fire strike. Like, as you create range after swinging, you too predictably use fire strike, and that's very punishable. In general, what I would like of your fire strikes is what you were doing on second, where you throw, hey, I'm starting my fire strike, peeking the edge, throwing the fire strike, and then closing the edge. Like, that's what I would like the overwhelming majority of your fire strikes to be. They can be those. They can be, I am finishing a target and the fire strike is literally the last hit. Those are a reasonable thing. You go, hey, against a 200 HP hero, swing, cancel my swing as soon as it's done damage so I don't have to spend time on the backswing into a fire strike. That's reasonable. And those are basically it. Like, you can also do fire strikes through BAP windows when you're in the open. I'll forgive those because the firepower behind them is so meaningful in that it's a 200 HP threshold, etc. But that's pretty much the overwhelming majority of what you're looking for with fire strikes. So you have some fire strikes to cut out or replace in how you're playing the game. We also need to do corners better. Like, you do too much chasing people in, too much doing this. You need to better understand what the corner is doing. You can hold this corner from this direction against that Mercy. You can generally have been holding this corner the whole time and you weren't. And you've just got to understand that this corner is powerful. This is not. This is not. This is not, etc. Like, you don't need to be here to do work. Being here is just fine. And then your third thing is going to be what we were talking about, which was, hey, when you have a Zarya, you want to push up. You want to go, hey, she has her bubble available. I'm going to push up and get it, etc., etc. I got it done, etc. And now I don't want to push up 6 seconds after the bubble ended. I want to push up 7.5, 8 seconds after the bubble ended. Because if I push up 7.5 seconds after the bubble ended, I go here, I'm doing my thing, and I'll get the bubble half a second in. The bubble will be coming up right as she wants to use it. She won't have time to use it sillily on someone else, and she also won't use it on me early, etc. because I am mentally tracking her bubble cooldown. Those are your 3 things. I would definitely start with the fire strikes because that is about to get you in trouble. Yeah, I definitely start with the fire strikes. I then move on to the corner holds because the corner holds are useful and they'll serve you all the way up the ladder, and then you can get into the bubbles because that's only going to apply when you have Zaryas. It is more important when your Zarya is less good, etc. But it is something that you should know. So work on them one at a time, 15 games, 30 games, 3 games, whatever it takes for you to sort of internalize it. Be thinking about it as you're doing it. Be thinking, hey, am I doing this? Be thinking anytime you're in spawn room waiting to spawn. Be thinking anytime that you're, between matches, hey, have I been doing a good job of that? While you're in queue, you can hop into the replay viewer, take a look and go, hey, am I doing, a good job with my fire strikes, etc. And once that feels like it's part of your autopilot, fantastic. You move on to the next thing and you go, okay, now let me work on my corners, etc. If there's any questions, throw them in chat now. and then I'll answer what I see there. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that really does help grow the channel. Really nice. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, and through there you can see my rates, become part of the community, see if there's any promotions going on, all sorts of cool stuff. Okay, so safer, less predictable fire strikes. Yes, I don't mind if they're super predictable if you're doing them on corners, because that is kind of predictable, but you're not compromised by doing them there. It's like, aha, you predicted me and you're shattering me from where? I'm not fire striking you when we're both on the same corner. I'm fire striking you from a corner that you can't get to me in time, etc. Or you get the idea. I try to play corners a good chunk of the time, so try to chase less in general when I do peek the corner to swing. You can play the corner better than you have been on this one, because you were drifting out here a lot when you were playing this corner. I don't mind you pursuing. If you're winning a fight, I do not mind you pursuing. Like, you pursuing is fine, but you were playing out here, which let the Reinhardt come get you, and then you had to pursue out to here. If you're here and he come gets you, maybe you have to pursue him here to get your swing off, but there's still nothing on you, etc. So, like, this corner, maybe it's just this specific Hanamura corner that you need to work on, but you aren't playing this as well as you can. You're here with your shield up too often, etc. This is a really important one. This is one of the, chokiest chokes in the game. So please play it right, I would say. Okay. Any tips for when I'm not getting good heals? Oh, yeah, I mean, what Semitic said there is true. What you run into is you do have to understand what your support line is capable of doing. So if you have Lucio Mercy, which is not a good support line, you go, hey, I'm going to play this corner even harder. I'm going to range out even less, and I really am just I'm going to do this. Where if you have, like, an Anabap just shooting stupid amounts of heals into you, you're going to pursue a little more often, etc., etc. But if you have less heals, you just have to play the corners even harder. It's really the only thing that you can do. And you have to understand, oh shoot, I need to use my barrier and retreat to the next corner even sooner, or to the next corner even sooner, etc. It's unfortunate, but it's the best you can do. Yeah, that's probably what I've got here. So it's better to just let the front line pass the choke and then engage. It's not that you're letting them pass the choke. Like, if you're here, it depends on the situation, right? Like, if you have your 6v6 and your team is set up how you want them, etc., no, you'd go, hey, you guys are coming in, and I'm going to push you from the side, and I'm going to hard commit on this, etc., etc. But if your team is like a super poke-heavy team, or if your team has someone running back from spawn and they don't, you might retreat to this corner instead. Like, if you're Reinhardt and your teammate is a Doomfist and, a Genji, and you've got maybe, a Zarya, you're just going to push them and fight them right here, etc., etc. But if your team is, hey, Pharmacy, Ash, whatever, Zen, Bap, you might go, hey, we're here. I'd like to fight you guys, but you know what? Maybe I'll back up to here. And the reason you're doing that is you have a lot of poke, and they're continuing to get pressed hard as they're in there, etc., etc. Those are different things you can do. But most of the time, no. You're just going to go, nope, you come here, and I'm going to commit on this, etc. This backup thing is more, hey, they're super healthy. If I commit on them, it's a feat. Like, I'm down to 200 health. I'm not getting healed fast. They are about to come through here. I need to retreat back and set up this as my new corner, etc. It's not great, but it is, something that you're going to do sometimes. Okay. I don't see any other questions, so I think that's going to do it for now. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.